Hello everyone, how's everybody today? Well, welcome to the Dirt Road Farmer. I sure appreciate you being here. We are wrapping up this huge field. Uh, it's been quite an ordeal. Uh, and right now, as we speak, we have 6 tractors in this field planting, and it looks to me like they're going to get this field done. Oh, I'm going to say they probably planted it in about 8 hours. I'll pull up the HUD, and this is the field right here that we're talking about. And as you can see, we've almost got it planted. This guy right here, he was planting a section in here and he got it done. So I moved him down to help this guy because this guy has got the most left to do. So I moved him down to help him. This guy right here, you can't see it, but he's got about a 6-foot swipe in there that he's finishing up. Other than that, these other guys, as you can see, they've got 2, maybe 3 more swipes and they'll be done. And the whole field will be planted in soybeans. Now, we did jump out on the field, and if you remember, we talked about the things that we didn't know about this field. We didn't know if the field had been mulched before they plowed it. The only thing that we really did know is 1/3 of the field had been fertilized 100%, but it was in the plowed state. Excuse me. And the other 2/3 of the field was in the plowed state, 0 fertilizer. So yes, it's been a pretty long ordeal. However, this is commercial farming. I mean, hours and hours and hours in the field. Commercial farmers, they have people work for them full time, and their sole job is to put their rear end in the seat of a tractor, and that's where they spend their day. That's from daylight till lunchtime. Of course, they take a break and eat lunch, and then dinner time. I'm sure they have set hours, but for whatever time that they are working for that farmer, that is their employer, and it's like a real job. Some of them have shifts where, if you work first shift, you'll work from a certain time to a certain time. When your day's over with, you go home, somebody else takes over your tractor. So that's what commercial farming is all about. It's just non-stop farming. So anyway, we're going to let these guys go ahead and get this field done. And I was going to tell you, I did step down on this field and found out that we are at the 100% fertilized state, but we're only at 95% yield bonus. So what that tells us is that this field had not been mulched before they plowed it. And I was afraid of that, but there ain't nothing you can do about it. We could raise that yield bonus 2% if we would roll it, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take the hit and you know, this one time. We're going to take the hit and go with it. Because believe me, there's going to be enough crop in this field as it is. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and let these guys work a little longer, and I'll get back with you in a little while. All right, well, we finally got that massive field, huge field, planted. And there's the fleet of tractors that did it. It took about 8 hours, and they had it done. And that's 2,844 acres. And there's going to be a lot of soybeans in that field. Woo-wee! Yes. But we have a smaller field, way smaller, of soybeans right here. And of course, all these smaller fields in here, they're all going to be ready to harvest long before that big field is. But we can jump out. And yes, we have soybeans. They're ready to harvest. 98% yield bonus, 100% fertilized. And down there at the bottom it says it needs rolling. Yeah. Now, we already talked about that. So I think we'll just go ahead and we're going to get a harvester over here and get him started on it. Yeah, we've got plenty of time to get it done, and we might as well do it. So anyway, I'll see you when we get into the field. All right, we've got this guy fired off, harvesting these soybeans, and he is running on Courseplay. This is the mod. Courseplay is the mod that I was talking about earlier. And if you remember, I told you, yes, we have the mod. We have it. But it will not handle multiple tools in the field yet. So, yeah. With that being said, trying to get, 4 or 5 harvesters running in the field at the same time, you just can't do that. Well, now I should not say you just can't do that. You can do that. But you'll run them on just the standard AI workers, and they'll run into one another if you don't set them up exactly right. They've got to have a place to turn around and go back down the field. And you couldn't stagger them. Like, this would be the first harvester, and then in back of it you'd have one staggered over. Now you can't do that, because when you get to the end of the row, this harvester is going to turn around and go right back down that row, which means you would have a head-on collision. So there's a whole lot to it, and but anyway, we're going to get this field harvested, and I don't know if we'll get it prepared tonight or today. Maybe we'll mulch it, and that might be as far as we'll go. But anyway, I'll get back with you when we get a little farther down the road or down the line. All right, This guy's making short work out of this field for sure. He is doing a great job. And as I have told you before in my previous videos, on this map, the harvester runs 11 miles an hour. 11. Any other map that I have ever done, a harvester with this particular header on it only runs 6 miles an hour. So, yeah, it is flat, moving right down the field. So, and that's another thing to consider whenever you're talking about keeping up with multiple headers or multiple harvesters. On this particular map, keeping up with one is almost like trying to keep up with two. So, you know, if you've got a couple of harvesters running, that's almost like keeping up with 4 harvesters. I mean, there's only 2 mile an hour difference there. So, you know, yeah, it's, I said 2 mile an hour difference, because if you had 2 harvesters running at 6 mile an hour, that's 12 mile an hour. And these are running 11 mile an hour, so that's 1 mile an hour. It's 2 mile an hour for both harvesters, 1 mile an hour apiece. So, yeah, that's it's hard to keep up with them, let me tell you. But anyway, we're gonna let this guy go ahead and get on across the field. All right, we're making short work of this. I wanted to show you, I know some of you, and I've said this before, but if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, this trailer, it doesn't, or this grain cart, it doesn't look like grain is accumulating in there. But if you go down, and I'll try to show you, that's a sheet of expanded metal, and this is a dual auger grain cart, so the grain is going through that expanded metal, and it's filling up the bottom first. You can see the grain down in there. So I just wanted to show you that in case you say, well, he's dumping an awful lot of grain in there, but I ain't seeing any accumulate. Well, it's there. It's just going through that expanded metal. So I know if I was watching that and I didn't know that, I'd think, well, that's not right. But yes, it is. I assure you, there is 78,402 liters of soybeans in this grain cart right now. So, but anyway, I'll say one thing. This field here is like a cakewalk compared to the field we just got out of planting. That field was, yes, you can call it huge. You know, that field, it was 2,844 acres. And to put that in perspective, downtown Dallas, Texas is only 896 acres. Now, I said downtown, not the surrounding areas or counties. Downtown Dallas, Texas is only 896 acres. So, yes, you could put a few of them, you could put 3 of them in there and have room left over in that field. So, anyway, that's just a little bit of interesting tidbit. So we're going to go ahead and get this field done. Thought you may want a little different view. We're inside the tractor cab now. And this would be the view that you would get if you were doing this. So, oh yeah. So, anyway, I just thought maybe you'd like to see that. I don't do a whole lot of driving in cab because it's just, well, it's just not, you can't see what you want to see. So if you were in real life, if you were sitting in that cab, you could see a whole lot more than what you can actually see on this simulator. So that's why I don't do a whole lot of in-cab driving, because I need to see a whole lot more than what I am seeing. All right, well, we're gaining on it. I'll get back with you. All right. Well, I think we're going to call this a video. I sure appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching. We've got another field that we'll do tomorrow. So until tomorrow, I hope everybody has a good evening, and I hope you all return. If you've liked this content, please go down there and give me a like. If you want to follow me in this commercial farming, hit that subscribe button. You'll get a notification every time I post new content. But as for me, the Dirt Road Farmer, until tomorrow, as always, thank you for watching